It's safe to say there aren't a lot of minorities in the medical field, especially black women.
Frustrating is way too benign of a word. It's an infuriating system that we practice in.
I don't think most doctors get burnt out by doctoring. It's everything else.
Hang on to make critical decisions to save you or your loved one. There is no way that this person can be working for 24 hours straight. Right? Wrong. In nearly every academic hospital in this country, it is not only legal for resident doctors to work 24-hour shifts and 80 hours a week, it's accepted.
This is The Scene in S.T.E.A.M with Jade Frederick.
Lianna, thank you so much for joining me today.
Jade, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's always good to talk to you, especially with your busy schedule. And you know what I like about you, Lianna? No matter the chaos that is going on around you, no matter who's screaming, no matter what's going on, you're always calm and collected. Your voice never rises above a certain level, and I just value that as someone who is sometimes very excitable and energetic. So
I try. On the inside, it may not be the same, but
yeah.
I try to just, keep it together.
Well, I think that's really important for not only you as just a medical student, the way that it's benefited you as a leader. You've led SMA 1 year, you led Dr. Me, and we're a part of the Dr. Me leadership, and recruited me for Dr. Me. And now you're very interested in surgery, and I think that's a very important aspect of surgery, to be able to keep calm when things are going crazy in the OR. Would you agree?
I would agree. I'll try to keep that.
Yeah.
Check in with me in like 3 years to see how it's going.
Okay. I did want to ask you, though, what kind of drew you to surgery and the midst of all the other specialties and, some specialties that people may not deem as, taxing on your body. What led you to it? Because I know some people, as soon as they hit that surgery rotation, they go on thinking they want to do it, but they start, the hours are crazy, the, temperaments are all over the place. So what made you continue on that path?
Yeah, I would say what initially drew me was anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
I think surgery is one of the few fields where you still have to keep abreast of anatomy. And even in undergrad, as you know, we got to take that anatomy class senior year, and that was one of my favorite subjects.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to medical school, and I still really liked it. And then once I got into the operating room, I realized that, there's kind of like a vibe in there. You have the lights low, you have your favorite soundtrack in the background, and you're just kind of working with a small group and, going through, as long as nothing crazy is happening. You can just work in a relatively, collaborative environment with your favorite music. That's something I like. And then when it comes to the patients, they get a surgery, and either the next day or in a couple of days, if they're feeling better, you get to see the results of your work almost immediately. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize it, but I kind of need that instant gratification, for lack of a better phrase,
right,
to keep me going. And then lastly, it's just that hands-on. You can be in the operating room, then you can be in clinic, you can be doing a short procedure, a long procedure, and I like the variety, because I think maybe I would get a little bit bored just doing one thing.
Yeah.
But it's something different all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely a unique thing about surgery. They call the OR the theater, correct?
Yeah.
That's what it's called. It's because, you're always on, you always have to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's definitely such a field that you definitely do see those results, instantaneously, either it works or...
Yeah.
Yeah, but, did you come in knowing that that's what you wanted to do?
No, I wanted to be a pediatrician.
Really?
I love the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're great. And I really liked my pediatrics rotation. It was good to not only work with the children, but their parents. And you have the opportunity to impact a family. But ultimately, I thought to myself, I don't want to spend like the rest of my career being like, well, what would it have been like if I was a surgeon, you know? And surgery just kind of rose to the top among all the other specialties.
About what time was this that it changed for you?
My first interest was during second year when we had the opportunity to shadow different things. I had heard a lot about surgery and some of the stereotypes that you touched on. And I was like, I kind of want to see what this is for myself.
Right.
So that shadowing opportunity was like the first spark. And then after my third year clerkship, it was kind of like something that was following me, like, oh, surgery. And then once I finished third year, I was like, okay, yeah, I think this is what I want to do.
This is it. That's awesome. Yeah, I think, you know, a lot of people you come into medical school saying, I'm going to be a surgeon, or I'm going to do this, and then they get to the surgery rotation, and they're like, that's a lot. I'm not going to do that, actually. So I guess, what advice would you give to someone coming in and, like, they're starting clinical years, and they're still kind of on the fence, not sure whether to do surgery or not? I talked to Naya about her recommendations for first and second years, so I kind of wanted to get your insight as someone who kind of changed their mind about, you know, how you should go about kind of navigating that during the clinical years.
Yeah, I would say that you should talk to as many people as possible. Like when you're on the surgery rotation, talk to the residents, talk to the attendings, and just ask them about, you know, what led them to pick their specialty. Ask them what things they maybe regret or they wish they did differently, and just get their perspective. Because of course, as a third year especially, you know, they're still trying to protect you, your med students. You're not going to be there working.
Right.
But you will see some of it, but you won't see everything. So there's some things that will be unknown. So just getting their perspective. Also, as much exposure as possible. In third year, it's hard because you have all these other clerkships that you still have to do. But if you have like a free time to go back and see it, because it could be that at the time that you did surgery, maybe certain residents were on and they made the experience better.
Right.
But you go back at a different time of year and maybe the residents have changed or some other external factor has changed. And now you have a different experience, so you can compare the two.
Right.
And then just write down how you feel at the end. Like, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, were you energized? Did you feel empowered? Were you, like, counting down the days until you were done so you could move on? So, yeah.
Okay. So what I'm hearing you kind of say is don't focus on so much on, like, the people or exactly who's in the OR, but do you like the work? Do you like the work that you see the surgeons doing itself? Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I know during my surgery rotation, we got like a note, and this was my specialty week for like cardiothoracic surgery. They're like, some students are disappointed that they don't actually get to do cardiothoracic surgery. You are not going to be a cardiothoracic surgeon in 1 week, so don't expect to do that. So I guess it's kind of more observing and like, could I see myself doing this? Do I like general environment and the like lifestyle in general? Yeah. Did the lifestyle ever deter you at all?
I think it was a factor for hesitation, but maybe not a deterrent. I do have other things that I like to do outside of medicine. And so one question for me is like, how would these things fit into my life if I was a surgeon? Because at least training will take up such a big portion of my time. So it was something that gave me pause, but wasn't necessarily like a deterrent, I'll take it off the table because...
Like, I'll still be able to, find time to do good things. Yeah. That's awesome. And I guess in the realm of, you do enjoy doing other things. You have other hobbies. How you kind of manage those hobbies and doing other things and staying balanced, and kind of not burning out when you have, such a packed schedule.
Yeah. What I've realized is, this whole like concept of work-life balance it's very fluid. Balance will look different at different times in life.
Right.
And so, especially in this past season where I was doing this past year, doing a lot of surgery rotations as a fourth year, there were some times where work-life balance involved me calling my family only on the weekend because when I would come home at the end of the day, I needed to go to bed to get rest. And that's something that helps me to not burn out, staying connected to my loved ones and talking to them, hearing what's going on in their life, and then also telling them some bad but also really good experiences that I've had. And then when I have a free weekend, it might mean, okay, I'm going to sleep in a little bit, and I will be late to church, but I'm going to go to church. Because that's a source of strength for me to get through the next week or the next 2 weeks until I'm able to make it back to church. That's where I can have like a musical outlet. That's where I can see people in person and not on FaceTime, and just gathering strength, and maintaining well-being, and helping me to be as strong as possible and not burn out.
You are a beautiful singer, Lianna. Every time you get up there,
Thank you.
I'm like, I used to be forgetting that Lianna has like the voice of a goddess.
No.
And now you balance, I think, all the things you like to do really well. And I think you balance like the good and bad of it as well too. I remember, we can cut this out if you want, but I was talking to you and Duran when you guys went your vascular surgery rotation. And I don't know, the schedule you were telling me sounded insane. That was great. I got to I don't know what you got to do. Some procedure, you were so happy about it. And I know you had just got like 2 hours of sleep. But I'm like, Leah, I'm so happy you're happy. Because, wow. I just admire that about you, and just being like loving the work so much that, it's okay, I'll catch you with sleep later,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine anyone else I would want to be my surgeon.
That is very kind of you to say.
So, congrats to you and so far and how far you've gotten.
Thank you.
I know we'll see great things for you in the future.
Thank you, Jade.
Yeah.
I will be looking forward to the great things from you, and I will tell people that I interviewed with her once. Now she's famous, but you can get this interview.
No, I mean, if Lianna says it, then it has to happen. I just take orders from you, Lianna, somehow. I take orders from you and everyone else does. But it was great talking to you. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.